reporting live from the metaverse in the Horizon world. And yeah, if it's one thing you gotta know when you jump into the crypto space, is that there's this bad actor, Gary Dirty Gensler, who just keeps cock-blocking the crypto space. And yeah, recently after the fake news about the approval of that spot Bitcoin ETF, Gary Dirty Gensler had to shed his sentiment on when exactly this spot ETF will be approved when he was on Capitol Hill. Why don't you go ahead and check it out?
In addition to receiving that letter last week, something else that happened last week, or rather didn't happen, was the SEC acting to appeal a court ruling from August in the Grayscale case. Grayscale, of course, trying to convert GBTC into a spot ETF. I know you can't comment on ongoing litigation, but should we still be considering that ongoing litigation given that lack of appeal at this point? And if not, what happens next?
Wait, didn't you just say that you knew I wasn't going to comment on the litigation? But let me just say...
But is it still ongoing since you didn't appeal?
We didn't appeal last Friday. I think that's accurate.
So you could still in the future in another form.
But what we have in front of us, just so that the viewing public understands, we have not one, but multiple, I think it's 8 or 10 filings that the staff and ultimately the commission is considering for what's called exchange-traded products, for Bitcoin to be in a security. So the Bitcoin would be held, and then there'd be something called an exchange-traded product, and that would trade on various stock exchanges. And those filings are in front of us. I can't prejudge any one of them, but there's 8 or 10 that we're looking at.
Well, there is a large number, and there is kind of a narrative in this market, and I wonder if you could put it to rest, that someone's going to get to go first. Is that likely to happen, or is it likely to be a group approval? If you're going to have one, a bunch of products could be approved at the same time.
Again, I'm not going to prejudge. The staff's doing work on those multiple filings, but it's also about those companies are issuers. See, when a company is actually, or an asset manager is seeking to take something public, these exchange-traded products need to register with the SEC, and they go through a filing somewhat similar to going public, like an IPO. And so it's really the work of our Division of Corporation Finance that gives feedback. Our Division of Trading and Markets, of course, looks at the filings of the exchanges.
Well, and we know the issuers have had interaction with the staff, questions the staff has asked that issuers have tried to address. Do you have a sense at all of whether or not the attempts to address those questions and issues have been productive, fruitful, changed anything?
Again, this is a time-tested process that goes back decades. It's like the staff of the SEC, it's called the Disclosure Review Team. Mm-hmm. But in that group, they respond and give feedback to potential issuers. But I don't have any details on those individual conversations.
Yeah! Why do you think I keep telling them to stop cock-blocking the crypto space? Because if you know how money works, you gotta let your bread work for you. I'm trying to make my bread have some babies, and I got this Gary Dirty Gensler that just keeps pushing the approval of these ETFs, spot Bitcoin ETFs, down the road. But yeah, he's coming up to that deadline date where there's no more room to push it back, and that's when right about now y'all better start. Not financial advice, you know. I gotta throw that disclaimer out there, cause you know I ain't no financial advisor, but right about now is when you should be DCAing your way to financial freedom. Now is when you gotta take the time and make the time and self-educate, because the digital assets that are out there, they will be powering, and I absolutely mean this, they're gonna be the backbone of the new financial system, but you won't know that if you don't. DYOR, do your research. This is Biz to the Moon reporting live from the metaverse. I'm finna see you soon. Jump into the crypto space and get ready, because that Bitcoin halving's coming, and we gonna see that price spike up just like it spiked up on the fake news. When the real news comes, we gonna be gone to the moon, jumping!